all you have to do is look at the person who you want to hear what they're saying to translate, and it'll start translating. So I could understand every single conversation that was happening in the room. It's like having superpowers. Welcome to King Moves. In chess, the king moves one step at a time, but that single move can change everything. Each week, we explore mindset shifts and simple actions that could lead to the next breakthrough in your business and life. I'm your co-host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa. Entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures as we think out loud, challenge assumptions, and uncover the small moves that create big momentum. Welcome to King Moves. Let's start the conversation. Ethan, a few episodes ago, we had a conversation around your new Meta glasses, and you did the unboxing, you did the sexy modeling of them for us, which is going to be forever burned into my brain. And there we go. You're holding them up to the camera. But I'm curious, you said you were going to report back. We discussed some use cases and some potential use cases, but you were going to report back when you had your first really big clear experience of these provide real value rather than just novelty.
Yeah. So on that last episode, I had just unboxed them and I was a little bit skeptical about how much of a novelty they were versus using them. And they are a bit heavy on the face, which some people may like, some people may dislike. But now that I've had the chance to use them a lot in the world, and in fact, shortly after our last episode where we talked about them, I had a speaking engagement in Mexico, in Monterrey. And I got there and I was wearing the glasses, and a few people at the lunch before my workshop, they were asking me about the glasses. And now this is obviously it's Mexico, Spanish speaking country. They do speak English. I didn't give my workshop in Spanish. So they are bilingual. Most of the EO chapter, all of the EO chapter is pretty bilingual. So, but at this lunch, they were socializing with each other for the majority of the room, except for the few people who were sitting with me, and they would, of course, speak to me in English. So as I was showing off the feature, I forgot it had this live translate feature. So all you have to do is say, hey, Meta, turn on live translation. And what happens is, as people were speaking Spanish, I could see the words on the glasses in English. So it's like having subtitles in real life, which was amazing. All you have to do is look at the person who you want to hear what they're saying to translate, and it'll start translating. So I could understand every single conversation that was happening in the room. It's like having superpowers. Now, it doesn't speak back in Spanish for you, so you have to figure out that part if you want, you want to do that. But I've studied Spanish. I'm okay in Spanish. I can kind of understand most of it, but I found that people speak very fast and quickly. It's hard for me to catch every single word compared to when you're studying something, you're studying it slowly. So it unlocks a superpower. And then I watched the Super Bowl performance with Bad Bunny. And I don't know if he did the whole thing in Spanish. It was a big thing. Yeah. And
everybody says they can't even understand. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody's like, I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds great, blah, blah, blah. And there were some people who were upset because it was in Spanish. That's a whole nother thing. We politicize everything in America. But I put on my glasses and I understood what he was saying. And what's funny is he was dropping a lot of curse words, like stuff that they would have out. Yeah. It's stuff they would have bleeped out if it were in English, but they didn't know what he was saying. So he was like dropping F-bombs and stuff so casually, and it sounded beautiful. I thought that was funny. So yeah, that's a superpower feature in the Meta glasses that if you travel internationally or speak to a lot of people who speak a different language, that will come in very handy for you. So now I've used it traveling, walking through airports. You can look at a sign and have it translate the sign for you, just visually. So you can use the camera feature to do that. I've been to Mexico twice since you and I last talked. One was for that speaking engagement, and then another one was personally for a friend of mine who had a birthday party that was absolutely amazing. We rented out the whole resort in this very remote place of Mexico called Zihuatanejo, and it was like this secluded beach where there was no one else on the beach. I did a post about it. But being in Mexico twice and traveling and using the glasses, I like being able to take pictures and video hands free, so I don't have to pull out my phone. So like if I'm running or walking and I want to document something, I just do it. I could either use my voice to activate it, or it comes with this wristband that allows you to use hand gestures to take pictures, do video. You can move around in the menu. It takes a little bit of you getting used to, but it's like an invisible remote control for the display that you see on the glasses. So another way this came up is at a conference. So on our last episode, we were talking about the NSA conference that I just went to. Whenever you have someone giving a presentation on stage, they usually have slides, and you want to take a picture of the slides sometimes. And you have to pull out your phone, zoom in, and take the picture. And often, if the speaker's moving too fast, you might miss the slide. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah.
So instead, I'm sitting there. I never have to pull out my phone. I'm just sitting there with my glasses on. And I've gotten really good at the gestures now. So you can even zoom in and snap. And all you have to do is just like click your fingers like that. And so I'm sitting there and I was able to capture everything I wanted to capture quickly because I didn't have to pull out my phone. So very practical use cases. I think it's a great investment. It's still early. It's still stage one. This is the worst that these smart glasses will ever be. More and more brands come out with them. I heard they're already working. Meta is even already working on the next version of them. So I'm an early adopter on these Meta Ray-Ban displays. But to me, it's worth it because I'm using them for things that give me real ROI.
I'm curious, Ethan, and thanks for sharing that. And those are really practical examples. So that's, I mean, I would have been one of the individuals who was arguing, it just seems like a lot of novelty. But what you've described now has certainly changed my mind on that. But what I am curious about is, do you see it as a prop and an extension of your brand? They're pretty good conversation starters for somebody who is in the AI space. So has it been helpful from that point of view as well?
Oh, for sure, yeah. And transparently, probably 50% of my reason for buying them in the first place was for that. It's like, okay, I'm talking about AI, so I need to own AI glasses and be out here testing things. It's the same thing with, I'm always testing different models and different AI tools that come out so that I can distill them down and tell people whether or not there are ways to practically use it in your business. And if there are, I give you the clear path forward. So it's a bit of a novelty. Now, they are hard for me to demonstrate on others because a few times I've told people like, hey, put them on. And once you move them to the other person's head, it doesn't always like sync up the same way because the wristband is on my arm and my phone is in my pocket. So it's very good at positioning. So it's a little bit tricky. But I was able to show some of the people in Mexico how I was doing the live translation. And it blew people away. I mean, that is a game changer. And I'll give you one more for this episode, one more practical use case that we are going to implement in our business. So now that I have the new Meta Ray-Ban displays, my old ones, I don't really need them anymore. So I was about to sell them on eBay or something. The old ones don't have the display feature. They have everything else. They have the cameras and the AI and stuff like that. But what we're going to do instead is use them to create training videos for our embroidery companies. So with embroidery, you have to be using both of your hands to like measure the garments and hoop them and put them on the machine. You need both hands. So instead of somebody trying to having someone else hold a phone or trying to set up a tripod where it's aimed down at a table, we'll just have the trainer wear the glasses while he's doing the thing and talking through it. So you're getting this first person point of view. So this would be practical for anyone. Let's say you have a cooking demonstration where you need both of your hands, or you're driving, anything where you need both of your hands and a camera. This is extremely handy to get that first person point of view video that you can then use for training, or if you're putting out content like as an influencer, that's another way you can actually make money from these.
Amazing. Ethan, what other products are there that have come out recently that are worth noting? Physical products that are, there's the Claude Note Pen. I know you've used that, and do you still continue to use that as well?
Yep, for sure. I have that right here in front of me. So the Claude Note Pen, I wear it as a necklace. These are my two must-haves, especially if I'm going to a conference or a meeting. I'm wearing the Claude necklace. I'm wearing the Meta glasses to capture the information. And then when I get back to my hotel or to my office or home, I take the audio notes that I have from the Claude, I take the pictures from the meta, and I take my handwritten notes that I've also wrote down and take all three of those, throw them into AI, and now I have like this study guide that I can constantly refer back to and have a conversation with. It's like it's taking notes on steroids, and it allows you to do it so much faster. I think those two are the only AI-powered hardware devices that I'm using right now. But I do think that this will become commonplace, and that we will have wearables, just like we all have. We have Apple Watches, smartwatches now. It's going to be very common for us to have more and more AI wearables.
Yeah. Amazing. Any king move that you want to end this one with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to plug for any particular company, but think about where you could maybe apply some AI hardware into your life. And if it will give you a practical ROI, why not make the investment? I mean, this stuff isn't cheap. The Applaud necklace, I mean, it's not bad. It was I think it's like $150, $160. The Meta display glasses are pretty expensive right now. I mean, they're $800. That's not a cheap pair of glasses.
Yeah.
But if you think about it more like a computer, or if you compare the price to like investing in a computer or a piece of hardware that you're actually going to use for productivity, instead of comparing it to the price of glasses, it makes it an easier pill to swallow. But think about, don't be scared to jump in, because the faster you jump in, the more of a head start you're going to have on the rest of the world.
Okay.
That's a wrap for today's episode of King Moves. Quick favor before we go. If this episode made you think differently or helped you see your next move more clearly, take 30 seconds and leave us a review. It helps the show reach leaders who need these conversations. Remember, in chess, like in business, one right move can change everything.
Take today's action step, make your move, and build momentum. And if you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready for the next breakthrough. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our weekly conversations.
Until next time.